Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Barth Jetto. I am a partner at Excel Partners. I'm joined with my co-partner, Dina Coker, and we have a distinguished guest down below, but I'll save that introduction for a second. Excel Partners is an offsite sales provider, and we really like to bring these types of webinars to you so you can with industry experts, so you can rethink the way you do things, find out about new topics. Today, obviously, we're talking about AI and machine learning, which is so present in the news today. I believe you'll leave this webinar, armed with information that will help you run your business in 2025 and beyond. So there's some housekeeping stuff we need to take care of. Everybody's going to be muted during the call. Please use the Q&A function to ask any questions. We will then ask those questions on your behalf at the end of the presentation. So they'll queue up and we'll ask them and try to cover all of them. The webinar will be recorded. A link will be sent along from me with a PowerPoint. So you'll have a link to the webinar recording and you'll have the PowerPoint material that our distinguished guest is going to give you today. I'm going to put out one plug too for an event that we have coming up in the textile business. It's September 17th at the Harvard Club of New York. We have it every year, and it's really awesome. It's put on by the HFPA, which is Home of Fashion's Product Association. The scholarship goes to the FIT Fashion Institute of Technology and to Thomas Jefferson University. In the last few years, we've raised over $60,000 for scholarships for these folks. And these are the people that are going to come to this business, the new blood that comes into the business, and hopefully will be working for you and innovating in your company someday. So please support that. The link is in the chat feature, and you can go to the HFPA website also for more information. But we sponsor that and would love to have you there. So getting on to the webinar today, our speaker is the Director of Business Transformation at Linko, where he leads strategic initiatives for both clients and internal teams. He brings experience from companies like Amazon, Uber, obviously everybody's heard of those, Banco Azteca, and Linio, always focused on innovation and operational scale. He holds a degree in mechanical engineering and an MBA from International Business School. And so please welcome Ignacio is what he goes by formally, but his friends, and I count myself as a dear one of those, he goes by Nacho. So if you hear us saying Nacho, that is Ignacio. And Nacho, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Bart. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Well, like our title says, we're gonna go and see AI put to work in a very realistic roadmap that you guys in the home textiles industry can take it. So basically, what you guys need to know about automating operations and reducing friction and preparing for growth, right? Like there's a big shift coming on to reshape operations, and that's the use of AI and automation, right? And most of what we have been hearing and working with our own clients is that where do we start? Like I don't like how do I eat this, right? Like do I do something? Do I do nothing? Do I wait for it? So where do we start, basically? And this session is about practical ways business leaders can start, right? And that's the key word for it, like just start, right? And where do we start? Um, so in this, we're gonna go through some examples that we have worked with some clients, some examples specifically for manufacturing textiles that we have worked with some for clients that we have found in the space right now, and basically go through some of the trends in automation and AI that we're going through, and we're gonna be seeing more and more throughout the years. So basically, what do we see, right? Like it's not about broken operations, or like not there's nothing to say that, oh, the process is broken, that let's just fix it. It's just more about like let's optimize that process, right? So your tech stack, every system that you have right now works, right? You have already systems in place, ERPs, inventory management systems, maybe CRMs that they all work, right? But they normally require a lot of manual input, a lot of processes going on, a lot of analysts, business analysts, people that works on them, and maybe they're not communicating together. So this is what we're talking about, like and what AI comes into play, right? Um, to address these three things that we have here, like silos that slow you down, right? Design, sourcing, sales team operating in different systems, and then you maybe have an order put in place, and then you have to translate that order into another system to have it in accounting, to have invoices done, accounts payable, all of that, right? And then you have processes that are reactive and not predictive, say forecasting, stockouts, route planning, budgeting. All of those normally are more in the way of taking, instead of taking a look at the future and predicting, they're doing more, we're doing more at seeing what happened in the past, right? And try to predict the future with with what already happened, right? Um, and also teams wasting hours basically on simple tasks. We already have, or we already seen, I'm pretty sure everybody is thinking about this right now, is that seeing business analysts just piling on Excel after Excel after Excel just to be done with inventory, be done with a forecast, be done with budgeting, right? And doing this week after week after week after week instead of doing something that adds more value to the company, right? Instead of doing some analyzing, some predicting, working with clients face to face, right? So that's what we're here to address. So basically, and just to everyone has this or let's start with the same base. um, what's AI today, right? What's really possible? And we have two main concepts here. We have RPA, which is robot process automation, right? And let's think about this as a bot, right? And this bot, you teach it how to do a process, right? You teach the steps, how to connect. This you do. This goes here. This goes there, and that, right? So the bot learns the process and does the process exactly as you tell them to do, right? And that's pretty much what you do in process automation right now. And what changes from this RPA or this bot with agentic AI, and that's a huge leap, is that now the bot is not, it's not gonna just do what you say in the same exact fashion as you tell them to, right? Because bots normally they find an error in connection or some data missing in the data set that you have, or something is missing, and then just stop, right? And they can generate an error, and that's it, right? The process stops. But now with agentic AI, what you do is basically you tell them what you need to achieve, right? It's like, hey, I want a budget for this year, right? And you're going to take the input from this system and this other system and maybe this Excel sheet that we have here. And then the agent basically goes through those, checks what you have done before, in regards of like accounting rules, all the P&Ls that you've done before, and then generates the P&L. And if there is some information missing, it will tell you about it. You can program it to actually ask you and send an email saying like, "Hey, I'm missing this information. Can you provide this?" And all of this also done through natural language, right? Instead of just saying like, give me this input. It will ask you like, hey, I see figures missing from sales around this quarter. Can you fill that in? Or I see the cost is not matching, or it has X% above, right? From last year. Can you fill that in so we can put a note on it? So it will help you out throughout these processes. And just by telling them, right? And they will find ways to fill out those gaps instead of just the normal robot process automation that goes on right now, which is just, hey, do this, right? And do not deviate from the path. So with that, just this is just a summary of what we just talked. An RPA robot just follows the rules exactly as they were taught. AI agent basically figures it out, right? You just tell them what you need and where to get it, or where to get the pieces to build it, and they will figure it out, right? Needs a step by step. Yes, you will have to tell a robot like do this from here, take this from there, make it so that you copy this exact date, for example, and put it there, right? In an agent, you tell them like figure it out. Like I need an input from dates, invoice numbers, amounts, and also you can tell them like actually, and we have seen, and maybe I'll discuss this example a little later on. We have a client that does invoicing in Mexican pesos, and he has to transform in dollars, right? So the clients give them the invoice in pesos, and this agent actually does the conversion in dollars, taking into account the actual and records the actual date of the exchange rate. So they have all those transactions and those logs already in, right? Um, a bot cannot adapt. The agent does adapt to changes. Like if information is changed, links are changed, for example, or types of, let's say this is a very basic example. The invoices, they do not follow the same pattern. Sometimes it's not a standardized form. Sometimes for invoicing because company to company they vary. So the agent actually adapts to those changes, right? Instead of having the date here, now they have it over there to the left, right? And the agent actually is capable of catching those changes. Works alone. The robot right now, it's able to work alone 24/7. And actually, you can program work from 8 to 9 on this task, and then from 9 onwards to this other task and all of that, and but only one task, right? At a time. And an agent can work actually with others. And that's one of the trends that we're going to talk about, which is coordination, right? Between agents, robots, humans, and all of your systems. So what do we expect going on or going forward with agentic AI? It's basically in a recent survey, 71% of executives say that agents will drive major automation gains, right? 15, they expect that 15% of decisions are delivered by agents or could be made by agents already by 2028. So that's 15% of decisions that normally is asking your supervisor or your manager to say like, hey, is this okay? Right? So instead of that, just have a set of rules, policies already embedded in the agent, and then the agent does the work for you, right? And 100% transformation. So we're entering a phase of where AI can support decisions, speed up operations, and scale across teams. It's not about it's about making everyone more efficient at their job, right? And making them put more value work into it and giving up or leaving the manual work to the agents and to the bots, right? So our job right now, our job today here is show you where to begin. So we're gonna go through these seven automation trends that are happening right now, and so you guys have a broad picture of what's happening in the landscape, and where do you like so you can get a sense of where you are right now in your companies, in your departments, and where you want to go actually, right? So the first one is agentic AI, right? Like from thought to action, which is um, making decisions for you. So like we said, we expect to 15% of automation or decisions are made through agents by 2028. They operate 24/7, so that means it's really a non-stop business, right? And we expect 3 times efficiency gains, especially involved or being involved in complex workloads, right? It's not just simple little task that, for example, a bot does. It's more a broad set of decisions and maybe just come up with the financial statements of your company, and then just have a human to take a look, right, and validate that everything is it's done, right? Um, so basically, these systems will perceive conditions, plan responses, and take actions autonomously based based on certain rules, policies that your company already has, your department, and then work towards those goals. And like we were saying, one of these trends and one of these challenges too is how do we all work together, right? So because we will have going forward a mix in your workforce, which is humans working alongside with agents, with some bots, and also an orchestration, say like in an airport, right? It's a control tower that tells you like, now you go human, now you go agent, now you go bot, right? And how to orchestrate that whole work that's being done towards the goal, and that how that contributes towards the goals of your company. So also there are some automations that are mm, pretty much done now and will get better in the long run that were thought to be too complex, right? For this type of, for example, for bots, right? Everyone here, I'm pretty sure they had an interaction with a chatbot in customer service before, and it- and God bless them. I feel very exasperated, and I'm just looking for the button that says that just connect me to a human, right? We have seen right now, and actually you can check it right now at Salesforce, for example, that it's one of our partners and one of the main proponents of agents. You can go and actually chat with their agent, and it will provide you with a very natural language, meaning that you don't have to go and click like, oh, here are the three options, select one, and then going through this circular choice. You can actually ask, hey, how much is a license for Salesforce? And it will tell you and provide you also with links like, hey, you can check here, you can check here, or actually I can connect you to someone, right? So all of that, before it was this chatbot that gives you options. Now it's an agent that actually has all the information that the company has, right? All the FAQs, all the questions that were asked at some point, and you can embed that in a chatbot that works with natural language and do customer service, right? Also store optimization, right? Because one of the things is that AI is really good at is predicting patterns. So you can input all the information about, for example, traffic in the store and what they have been working at in a lot of even e-commerce and store sites, is that how to get better clicks, predicting where they will get the clicks, right? Or where to put certain products, or either at eye level, below the eye level, or in the upper shelf with AI, right? So they will give you, based on pattern recognition, uh, the best and the optimal storefront, say. Also logistics, which normally it's a very complex thing to actually get around, right? So one of the things we have been working with a company that does logistics for an e-commerce site, and AI has been helped them to reduce. They were using at least 10 10 hours, say in a week, 10 hours to do the schedule for all the routes, right? And now we started doing with AI in an agent that connects to all their routes, their invoices, their requests, all of that. And we have reduced the schedule to be ready at 9 a.m. every day, all day. So basically, we reduce it from 10 hours to maybe 1 hour. And that 1 hour is just to do manual arrangements, right? So either um, check special routes, right? A special delivery that has to be done, and everything is said and done by 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and every truck is already on their way by 9 a.m. and already loaded. So that's pretty amazing. And one of the things nowadays, everyone's talking about tariffs. We were showcased by Salesforce an AI agent that actually can predict tariffs. How would your prices will behave with tariffs in different scenarios, right? Before it would take, I don't know, a couple of analysts, a couple of engineers to program this, and now with an agent, you just need to basically connect to your catalog, connect to your pricing system, and then just input how much do you expect the tariffs from which dates, and the agent will work and provide you with several scenarios, right? And how would it be best to source from based on those scenarios? So that's pretty amazing, and that would be a week's labor basically, and now it's reduced to mere hours, and those hours are dedicated to validation and just like one of my friends says, it's just play with it, right? Just you're just playing with it with the variables. Um, Also, and this goes with trend number two that we were talking about, orchestration, which is just how to work everything, or how will we work alongside with agents and bots and all of that. Is we will be sharing jobs with the machines, right? For example, 30% of all of work schedules will be hours that may shift to machines by 2030, and that's pretty much what we've been seeing. Instead of dedicating time of downloading Excels and working on the Excels and then uploading them in the system again, the bot will deliver you what the end result, or the AI will deliver you the end result, the budget, the forecast, the route schedule, and the analyst or the people in charge of that, they will just review and do manual adaptations just because there's something special going on. For example, for P&Ls, they just put notes on it that are required to provide more context and information. Also, 70% of retail positions will require a significant role definition with this, just because all that time that it's input into manual labor will have to shift to other things. And we see this as a great opportunity to also do a more client-facing job related, or do more face to face, so we can delegate that manual labor to the bots and focus more on the clients, be there with them, be there where they are actually. And we see a 40% productivity boost in when humans collaborate with AI effectively, right? So HR and IT must partner to redesign roles, retrain workforce for the AI augmented organization that is to come. Also, how do we use the AI that's already here? Most of you, probably all of you, already have some type of AI embedded in your systems. Either Copilot, for example, if you use Office or the Google Suite, right? You already have either Copilot already embedded in your emails, in work, in your PowerPoint, or or Gemini if you use the Google Suite, the Google Workspace Suite. It's already embedded there, right? So learning how to get more out of those all resources that are already there can increase the productivity of people from, or departments actually, from 20 to 40% across the whole workforce. Manual labor reduction is up to 60% in administrative task. Actually, I already, and this is a personal anecdote of mine. I I'm pretty sure out of 10 emails, I think I only write me directly one or two. Like the other eight emails are answer, catalog, label, and stash away by an agent that I built in the Google Workspace suite through Gemini and an agent space. So pretty much what I used to see as a daunting work, which was like seeing like 100 and something emails in my inbox every day, I breeze through them because the agent already has or already is cataloging and telling me I already answered this. These are only updates, and I already send them to your team so they can be aware of them. And these two are from your manager and your director. You should answer those, right? And it's a pretty neat application for that, and a very, it's a way to start using this AI in your favor. So, and like you said, well, like we were saying, like one of the major challenges will be driving adoption through resistant teams. And how do you drive adoption is basically showing them how to take advantage of that. And once they see like, hey, I don't have 100 and something emails every morning waiting for me that I just have to, and pretty much like 80% of those are just clicks, right? They just click, read it, click, read it, click, read it, click. This is not for me. I'm just CC'd on it, right? I don't need to take action. So, and once you show them that, they will start using more and more uh, this AI and these copilots that you already have in your systems. So basically, success come from identifying high value use cases and systematically driving adoption little by little, showing them that little task or those little tasks that are transformed from manually to automated work, and then start escalating from those. So trend number 6, it's all about the data. Um, Basically, and I'm pretty sure you have seen a lot of articles written about this, that data is the new oil of this century, and that's pretty much it. The better the data that you have, the cleaner the data that you have, you are in a position to take advantage and transform that to literally gold. And this pyramid just only shows that how data will be, instead of just thinking about data in just these humongous spreadsheets just lining through, just how it will get transformed to going to knowledge graphs, which is this data, but transform into a graphical interface that you can actually access and see it rather quickly, instead of just seeing columns and columns and rows after rows of data. And then going all the way to actually companies doing their own LLMs instead of relying on just what's commercially available. And we have seen these from manufacturing companies, retail companies that have been training their own LLMs in their own data, in their own systems and their own policies, so they can own that data, they own that LLM, and works for them specifically, instead of just saying uh, connect a ChatGPT to your systems. Is just working and training from zero an LLM to or a large language model, which is what powers AI in your data. So we have an example of one retailer that saved $5 million through faster accessing internal knowledge. And I'm not just saying this internal knowledge is just, for example, it was a chatbot that was enabled for internal clients, meaning all the employees. And it was just for basically frequently asked questions like, say, hey, how many days of vacation do I have left? Right? And those questions will be raised through a ticket or an email to an HR person. And then it will take like I don't know, depending on how busy the HR person was, 24 hours to be answered, and then just check the HR person would check the system, reply, recheck again because sometimes it was like, hey, but I have there's an error. I have more available vacation, or when does this kicks in for me, et cetera, right? And now it's just an agent in a form of a chatbot answering questions, say like, hey, how many days do I have from vacation? And all of a sudden, this agent goes, retrieves the information from the employee, and provides them like, hey, you have 7 left. Do you want me to actually schedule some vacation? Just give me the dates, right? You don't even have to do anything, right? Just tell me the dates that you want to go on vacation. I'll put in your notice. I'll send the email to your supervisor, to the HR person, and ask them for their authorization, right? So, and just by doing that, just the internal knowledge, they were saving 5 million, right? Just through faster access to their internal data. And trend number 7, and I'm pretty sure you have seen news here and there about what are we doing to regulate this, right? So the regulatory landscape will change rapidly, is changing rapidly as of we speak, right? AI laws are accelerating worldwide. With major implications. So they will ask us, or they will ask companies for governance, right? To have a governance system to establish clear oversight of AI, accountability structures, data protection laws, also to be taken into account, transparency. So how do we document the usage of AI in the decision-making process that goes through that? And accountability, like implement monitoring and auditing for the AI systems, right? So also that includes that prepare your data infrastructure systems, your processes, your departments to stay compliant, and these needs forward-thinking retailers that will turn compliance into a competitive advantage because it will be in the future, and I'm pretty well, we're seeing it now, right? In the future, everyone will be more cautious about uh, where our data is stored and how we share our data. And actually, that's one of the things that, for example, Apple does really well, and I'm pretty sure, or I saw with a lot of my friends that were other phone users, Android users, that they changed to Apple because Apple actually has a very strict policy on how it stores and shares data, right? Especially with third parties. So this will become a very competitive advantage if you stay in front of it. So after all of these trends, and I know it's a lot of information to be processed, but where you might be feeling stuck, right? So we know a lot of companies feel stuck between that curiosity and execution, right? Like I'm curious, I need to do I know I need to do something with AI. Just I don't know where to start. I don't know which department is perfect for it, or where can I show real progress so I can get more budget for it, or all of these questions. And this is just a chance to get clarity and build a plan, right? Like we know that, for example, 70% of AI projects fail. Why? Because they lack, or they try to start really big, right? When you can start with defining very, very, very small defined use cases that drive that return on investment really quick, right? And and one of the things is that a lot of companies want to tackle like the big cases, like customer service and logistics and all of that. But there are a lot of departments across which are financing, accounting, all of that has a lot of manual work that can be automated rather, let's say, easily because they have structures and rules more defined than, for example, customer service or logistics maybe. And you can start there and then go and work through there, showcase progress, and then start tackling the biggest ones, right? Or the biggest projects. We see that there are normally we expect that the reduction to to 3.5 hours of searching info. Instead of like before they were doing or we were doing searching info like for 6 hours before completing projects and all of that. So we start seeing this reduction to 3.5 hours, which is saving a lot of time. And that think about people instead of searching for those 6 hours information to actually put that towards a project, just doing that in half the time, right? And right now, the talent score will need to get to reach 85 yeah, of 100 in qualification. So that means for AI. So that means one of the great things that will happen, and we touched upon in a trend before this is that AI HR will have to work together, be in sync to retrain workers and drive adoption for these AI tools, right? Uh, Starting with we already have, which is copilots on and all of these things that already come with Word or email, all of that, and then works towards the biggest or tackle the biggest issues in the company, which is either forecasting processes, budgeting processes, and customer services processes, right? So welcome to the messy middle. We're here, right? But remember, in great stories, treasure is found in the dark. So all of this, and this is the moment where you start to discover all of this treasure, right? Um, so this is where us, Linko, meets you, right? So we provide or we take this approach. This is our framework to approach this AI challenge that companies are facing right now. So we assess AI readiness. So we bring a map, a compass, and hard-earned experience to navigate the AI landscape. So evaluate capabilities while you already have in place, identify gaps, and map the potential use cases, right? Data readiness, like we said, data is the new oil of this century. We convert information in, or I mean, understand where you are in the data, convert that information into decision-making fuel that powers future growth, and ensure data availability, quality, and architecture are in place for you to take advantage of that. Enable use cases. That's a very important part. Like we harness AI that works towards your business goals independently, making with strategic high impact use cases that are proven and scalable. Um, and we help or maximize the AI capabilities across your existing technology stack. So we don't come in to tell you like, oh, you need to get rid of this and replace it with this other system and all of that. So we want to take advantage of what you already have in place, right? And help you build these cases that automate whole processes and start that escalation from there, right? So start small, processes that are very manual, that take up a lot of time from your people, and start working on those. And we help companies identify the right use case or that right first use case, that's something real and not theoretical, and that will provide you or will give you an ROI very, very fast.
Nacho, thank you very, very much. I am gonna just kick off with a couple of questions. And folks, again, if you have questions, please, as Barth mentioned, use the Q&A function and I'll ask them on your behalf. Nacho, you talked about this a little bit in the feeling stuck slide near the end, but for companies like the folks who are on the webinar today, but for companies that feel like they're a little bit late to the AI game, to the automation game. What's a good first step? I mean, give a couple of examples of small, easy, if you're going to think about this in crawl, walk, run, what does crawl look like?
Crawl would be to start with this small or the AI that's already there, right? Like for example, email. Everybody has email. And pretty sure either if you have Google Suite or the Microsoft one, you already have Copilot. So they have these little nuggets of how to automate your email inbox, right? So you can start there, and that will prove you, and that will show your team like, hey, AI is not something that I should be afraid of, right? It actually could help me write emails faster. It doesn't have to like do the whole automation that I just explained that I did with mine. I started actually with, hey, help me, craft an email for my managing director about this issue, and they will provide me, this template, and I could work on making it sound like more like me, right? So you start like that, and then you get on to all the manual processes that, or the processes that require a lot of manual labor. Think about all those processes that require people to download an Excel, work on that Excel, and then upload that Excel to another system. So that's a very, let's say, automation prone processes. So you can start with that. And once it's automated, you can see that it reduces the work that is being done towards that manual process. And you can allocate those hours that are saved by your team to other more interesting processes, right? Either client facing ones, activities, or more analysis activities that needs to be done, or even those projects that you have been putting on hold because you don't have, or you lack hands in your team. You can start on those.
That's good. Okay, so a good follow-up would be, and then you also talked about examples from other industries, but remembering the folks that are on this call it's a very manufacturing based industry. So are there processes for, manufacturing based industries like home textiles where you think AI would have a very immediate impact?
Sure. One of the things that we have seen, and this is across industries, all of the companies have um, finance, accounting departments. Payroll, it's one of the others. HR is one of the others. So all of those have a lot of manual processes that can be and are very automation prone, to take advantage of this technology. So we can start there. Going to tackle other more complex processes are very doable. It's just that we normally take a step into the direction that we just told, that hey, let's focus on things that are going to be low hanging fruits for you guys, uh give you return on your investment really fast, and then from there we can start working on other type of or tackle other more complex processes, right? And one of the other things that we have seen is production and sourcing, for example. And one of the examples that I just gave is that Salesforce created an AI agent to do scenarios for tariffs, right? So I'm pretty sure, and give you recommendations on where to source from, depending on if the tariff varies or not, or stays the same. So one of the things that or it's more complex is that, but we can tackle that too.
Good. That's great. Thank you. And there's all sorts of examples I'm sure you could give if people wanted to reach out directly. Um, do companies need to have a big IT department or a dedicated data team to really benefit from automation? I mean, do you need to have technical people to deal with you guys to get things kicked off?
No, actually, that's the beauty of it. We can take up this challenge in three ways, right? One of them, we can be your IT person, basically, your innovation lab, if you want. So you already have your IT person that handles everything, and then we can just latch onto it and be that innovation person, or right, your innovation lab that kicks you off and helps you, accelerate that learning, and that implementation of AI. We can also train your IT persons, and we have trained people like IT teams that are two persons, right? And teach them how to automate, how to better use automations in their systems. And also we can also work with teams that are humongous, right? And help actually build teams um, for this new area, sorry, this new era of AI. which we call them a center of excellence, right? And that's where you actually create uh, a cell within your IT department that actually handles the governance, all that we talked about, governance, orchestration between how AI works with humans and everything, or with their coworkers. I can say that better, right? So it's one of those three, and just by I took the long road to answer your question is that you don't need like a humongous IT team. It can be one person, it can be two persons, and we can actually work with them to accelerate that implementation of AI, kickstart their journey, and actually teach them how to keep them by themselves doing the automations and innovating.
That's great, Nacho. Thanks. Just to change tacks a little bit, what's a common misconception that you guys hear often from executives about automation or AI?
Well, one of them, you just said it in your question, that I need a huge team,
Yeah,
right? A huge expert level team. You don't. Uh, One of the things that AI has done is that it has produced a lot of tools for automation that are very low code or almost no code, that can do all the coding task just by doing natural language. Say like, hey, I want an app that does this, connect to this, and they will provide you the code and even deploy it by you. So one of the best or misconceptions that we hear is that, oh, I need a huge team or even huge investment, right? Also, because the tools have been going down in price as every other technology, and we can find ways to actually fit your budget into those automations that you already have. And like we said, we normally start basically with what you already have, right? Like all the AI that's already embedded in your Microsoft suite or your Google suite.
good. Thank you. If one of the folks today here wanted to get started, can you just talk about next steps? Like what exactly would happen? What would you do? What would be the process that you would take them through?
Yeah. So what we do is actually sit with them and start going through their processes, like and either there's two ways, right? Like if either they already have like, oh, I have these accounting processes that take a lot of time and effort, so I want you to like help me automate them, right? It's either they already have something in mind that would like to get that's very manual and they would like to get automated, and we work with them to provide the best scenarios, which first use cases, prioritize them, and then start working on them. Or it's one of those things that, hey, I have no idea where to start. I need your help, which it's normally the scenario that we face the most, right? And that's where we go in and start reviewing which processes from all from all your processes are more prone to automation. We, talk to your guys from HR, from all the departments, and find how much are you spending manually on those processes, how much time, and then do some assessment on which process is more automation prone and which one will result in uh, better ROI or faster ROI for you for that investment. And then we work with you to understand your priorities, prioritize that, and then start working with your team because again, we are the experts in the tool, right? But you are the experts on the business. So we work with them to actually understand which are the goals that you want to push forward and prioritize which processes should be automated.
Good. Thank you. So first of all, I want to thank you, Nacho. Well done. And I want to thank everybody on the webinar today. Barth will send an email. You guys will all get a copy of this presentation as well as the recording. But of course, you can see there's emails up here if you guys have follow-up questions. So thank you very much for today. And thank you, Nacho.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.